this decision to block supply of arms to Ukraine, instead they want to arm themselves, is not a wise decision, because Ukraine is the first line of defense. And should Ukraine fail to protect itself and lose this war, the Polish border would be another hot spot.
Trouble for Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Poland has said it will no longer supply weapons to Ukraine, a blow from one of Kyiv's key allies. The move follows a diplomatic dispute over grain imports. Joining us to talk about how this will affect the efforts at the front is Alexander Khara, who used to be an advisor to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense and is now with the Centre for Defence Studies. Morning to you, Alexander. How worried are you about this? Was it expected? This is about subsidies going for Ukrainian grain that makes it harder for Polish grain producers to get a good deal. Are you worried that this is happening?
Well, certainly, but we should begin with the reason why we have this tension in the first place. It's a Russian war of aggression. It's a Russian blockade of the Ukrainian Black Sea ports, and its inability of international community to impose freedom of navigation in the Black Sea. And should Ukraine propose any good ideas, and we've been doing this, it's a supply of anti-ship missiles to Ukraine. And thanks to the, including the United Kingdom, we had some success by sinking the Russian vessels and getting them, fending them off the shores from the western, northern western part of Black Sea, and trying to get this free of Russia line of communication between our ports and the foreign markets. But what's going on in Poland, it's just, I would say it's unfair. And certainly we are not really happy with what's going on. For Ukraine, it's existential struggle. We lost 1/3 of our economy, and certainly grain is one of the major articles of our export. We need to get money for our economy, for our military, and certainly for our population. In Poland, the grain import issue is rather political one, because there are elections, forthcoming elections, and they are trying to show that they are protecting their let's say, constituencies. And this decision to block supply of arms to Ukraine, instead they want to arm themselves, is not a wise decision, because Ukraine is the first line of defense. And should Ukraine fail to protect itself and lose this war, the Polish border would be another hot spot. So that's why I believe it was not in the interest of Ukraine, neither the Polish Republic, to impose such a ban. I believe they will waive it, because well, it's not in their interest. They're trying to have a leverage over Ukraine in this dispute. And actually, Ukraine tried to resolve it on bilateral level. We were trying to talk to Poles directly. Then we were trying to talk to the Brussels. We were trying to get the European Union involved, because we have the deep and comprehensive free trade agreement with the European Union. And after all those attempts failed, we decided to go to WTO, which is a normal process. So even between the good friends, we can have quarrels, and we can settle it in other way. But what should I say? That, you know, we appreciate Polish support of Ukraine from the beginning of this invasion. Up to 1 million of Ukrainians found refuge in Poland. Okay. From the other hand, we cannot agree on the blackmail and the leverage by the most important supplies to Ukraine, which is weapon.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. We're hearing reports this morning that Ukrainian tanks have got through Russian lines in the south. And this is important because there is this sentiment that maybe the counteroffensive is taking too long. It's not been successful enough. There's a danger of American support dwindling. We've just heard about Polish support dwindling. Can you announce an important breakthrough here, Alexander? Is there a moment in the counteroffensive where you can point to a big success?
Well, I think that it will be obvious for all, because first and foremost, the delays in supplies of weapons before the spring counteroffensive provided Russians with an opportunity to entrench and to fortify their defenses. And that's why we are just trying to catch up with the situation that it was just a couple of months before. And what's happening on the ground, we are just, accumulating all small advances, and they will be turned into the qualitative advantage of Ukraine. So I believe that our forces are doing the right thing, and not just on the battlefield in the south, but in the east as well.
Yeah.
Because now we took several villages around Bakhmut, and we pinned the Russian, one of the best Russian remaining forces, the air assault forces over there. And we conducted a multi-domain attack on Crimea, actually, with the UK Storm Shadow missiles. So we're waging the war with all those resources that we have. We cannot deliver better results because we have no
You need
enough resources to do it.
I understand that you're doing with what you can. Therefore, the question of Polish weapons becomes a very pressing one. Alexander, good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us. That's Alexander Khara there, who used to be an advisor to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense.